The Critshow contains elements of horror, fantasy violence, and adult language. Content warnings can be found in the episode description. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Sup?
Hi there.
Welcome to the Critshow, where we are playing the Clockwinders.
The Critshow After Dark.
Midnight edition.
God, you got such a good voice. Just, man, when you get down there, wink.
When you get down there and then get down there.
Yeah.
When you get down there and talk.
When you stray to that low register.
Oh, yeah.
Just rumbles in my ears so good. Last time, our heroes completed their navigation of the labyrinth.
I'm going to need you to say completed, less sexually. Less.
Okay. All right.
Completed.
Last time, our heroes finished navigating the labyrinth.
Came to an end of their journey.
They
Arrived.
like a gentleman. Damn it! Damn it!
Oh, yeah.
They avoided the red cap threat, navigated to the point where they had last sensed Vaughn, and found his remains. What remained of his remains, which is very, very little. The red caps having bested him and consumed essentially every particle of him and his belongings. Mounted a return journey, where each of them employed some of their skills to stay hidden, stay aware, stay disguised, and find a route back. They had a conversation with Sevna to bring her up to speed and get a better idea of exactly what her circumstances were coming here and what they are now, and healed Karuk of the damage that he had taken from Yvain, at which point he considered their bargain fulfilled and has agreed to lead them through the labyrinth that they may reach the Forgotten Fortress, take revenge on Yvain, and save the world. So I think we jump ahead a little bit to all of you coming out the other side of the labyrinth, Karuk having led your party through safely. You did still hear some of that flute music throughout as you went, but it gave Karuk particularly a wide berth. So you being with him, you were all safe from the red caps, and he led you a very definite route, a clearly well understood and well-traveled route through the maze to get to the other side. Upon exiting the maze on the other side, you enter another large rectangular chamber similar to the one at the entry point. This one is in better shape. You can see that this one is visibly less traveled, less interacted with than the other end is. And beyond, there is just a cavernous opening through which daylight streams once again. You can see it as your way out of the mountain. And Karuk steps aside, setting his axe on the ground and leaning on it with both hands. I wish you good fortune in the remainder of your journey.
I offer a hand to shake.
He kind of looks down his nose at your hand. You see one of those big puffs of air from his nostrils, but he reaches out and takes your hand and, just completely envelops your hand in his, shakes your arm up and down uncomfortably.
Thank you. Hopefully we'll be back through sooner than later, and we'll have news of what became of the one that attacked you.
He gives a nod and an affirmative grunt.
Einon, do you see any indication of her anywhere?
I think as I turn away from Karuk, that's exactly what I'm starting to look for.
Yeah, give me an overcome with investigate, I think, trying to pick up her trail.
Okay.
Trying to beat a 3. I don't think she wasn't moving stealthily or anything.
Okay. 1,
Okay.
but I'm an experienced hunter.
Yes, you are. You can spend that point. That'll get you to the tie. Minor cost or lesser version. Or you can spend something additional to make it a success.
Is there any chance that anyone else was helping me look around for tracks?
I mean, it sounds like Kade could have been. He was the one who brought it up.
Yeah, I noticed what's out of place.
Okay. That'll get you to a success. So, yeah, you pretty quickly lay eyes on evidence of Yvain's passage here. In part, blood. It seems like she was injured. It seems like she must have had a tiff with the red caps as well that she did not get out of unscathed. Or perhaps Karuk put a little bit more hurt on her than previously thought. But yeah, you do see some droplets of her blood, some footsteps that lead obviously out of the labyrinth, further along the path towards the fortress. In this moment, there's nothing else particular to find, but you'll be able to keep these tracks as you go.
She's hurt, which means she'll likely be mad as hell. Sevnet, do you know if she has any abilities that would assist her in breaching the gap between the mountains and the fortress?
Sevna shakes her head. I mean, no, not to my knowledge. It was sort of murky what the plan was going to be once we got there. We had bribed a Tengu who resides in the freehold to get us up the mountains initially into the labyrinth, but he would not accompany us any further. She seemed confident, though, that she had a way, but she was raving. It was unclear.
Does Armless have any sort of reaction to that?
To what, the mention of the bribed Tengu?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got kind of like a shucks like reaction. Like, it doesn't seem to shock him. It seems like something that he's just kind of like, motherfucker, yeah, I believe it.
We do like shiny things.
They do that.
Yeah.
Well, if she hasn't sorted out whatever that method might be by the time we catch up, we might not just have an angry, injured ether user. She might be in cornered rat mode.
Yes, it's possible. I mean, if she's wounded, well, she won't be performing at her best, but she will be staunchly opposed to surrender. Or perhaps not. I mean, she seemed to, in her madness, reach some sort of enlightenment, almost. I mean, again, not to read it from her behavior, but to sort of read it from the things she would say. She kept referring to taking a leap of faith as if she had found some sort of peace or knowledge that she could not make understood to us. Or at least I could not understand it.
Sounds more like a resolve. I don't think we should expect anything less than her full ire and angst and power behind whatever she decides to do when we see her. If we can reason with her, great, but really sounding like she'll probably be beyond that.
Oh yes, I believe that she will be entirely beyond reason. Perhaps not beyond deception in some form.
Oh, that's a thought. If we were to approach this from the angle that you've taken control of us, that might get us close.
Perhaps. Her hatred for you knows no depths.
Is there a way to magic us so that we have that green glint in our eye, but with no adverse effects?
I'm sure we could muster something.
Marvelous.
But I'd rather not risk any side effects until we know it's necessary, dear.
Also fair. Well, let's keep moving.
All right. Roland again takes the lead. You all march away from Karuk, who gives you sort of a solemn wave of goodbye, and out into the daylight once again. Roland explains to you that it's not much further from here, and the path itself is not particularly daunting. It'll be less than an hour before you reach the cliff's edge.
Gimbal, I didn't tell you to stop playing.
Armalus raises a wing. He says, if I remember right, the distance from the edge to the tower is like 100 feet or so. If we want to try and get more of my friends to carry everybody across, we could probably do that now, or I can just take us one by one.
I will say, if we go one by one and we haven't found Yvain yet, that would put pretty easy single target moving back and forth across this gap.
But if we send up a flare, she might be alerted to the fact that we're here.
Also a very good point. Armalus, what is your ability to carry something much heavier like Smee?
Oh, dang, I don't know about that. I could carry something a cross that he's attached to, and like, I don't know, can he walk a tightrope or anything? Or he could just kind of fall off the edge and we could reel him up from the other side.
Zip line.
What's a zip line?
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we
know a guy.
Yeah, we know a guy. We are well acquainted in the ways of zipline.
We've learned from the best.
Yeah. One of the two Daves. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Oh, the two Daves. The mythical two Daves.
I thought they were just a story.
They're a bedtime story that Fae parents tell their children to keep them in line.
We hear plapping behind us.
It's like the two Rolands, but a far different kind of empire.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't, whatever that is, if you just need me to fly something across first, I can do that.
Yeah, I think we can make that work.
All right.
Then yes, point taken. I think if you were able to take us across one at a time, as discreetly as possible, that is, if we haven't found her before we reach the edge either way.
He nods. So, your party marches forward. Roland is silent and unreadable as ever, as are the rest of your fellows. It seems like there's a little bit of like a pall among them. Oh no!
Oh no, he's here!
How the hell?
No, there's just like a little bit of fear, a little bit of dread. Like everybody's just kind of quiet and reserved for this last hour's hike.
And as I'm just skipping through, happy as hell to see a new place, and you guys all right?
Yeah, I mean there are just some murmurs of discomfort. I think Sevna kind of like gently lays a hand on your arm and, kind of whispers to you, like, they're nervous, dear. They fear that they may be walking towards their death. Do you not understand that?
Yes, I suppose that's fair. In the last several weeks, that's always been at the edge of my mind, and in every case so far, we've come to discover something new and amazing, make new friends, find new possibilities. So I'm afraid it is lost on me on occasion to fear that greater adventure. I'll keep that in mind. And I'm like slightly less light in my step as we make our way.
Yeah, I think she kind of like, she takes your arm, she's walking arm in arm with you. She's holding on to you. And she says, I hope that we all end this journey with that sort of courage, but in the moment, meet them where they are. They're not as bold as you.
Fair.
Kate and I just look at each other like, fuck off.
Not you. You guys seem cool, but I wouldn't deign to speak. Sorry, the game master wouldn't deign to speak for what you're doing on this journey, just that the rest of your party seems scared.
Assuming we survive this trek and we are able to open this bridge, we're going to need brave and powerful people to go through to this other world, though there is a very high likelihood that it is a one-way trip. Is that something you'd be interested in exploring?
Oh, gods, ask me that again when this is over.
I assure you I will.
Your group descends and ascends bit by bit as the mountains become a little bit uneven. But about an hour later, you are climbing another incline, and as you do, on the horizon beyond, you start to see the fortress. You see the very tops of its towers enter your view first, and the more you climb and it starts to breach into your field of view, you see its enormous stone walls standing sturdy and strong and colossal. You start to see the tops of the enormous metal doors hanging on their hinges, gleaming in what light breaks through the clouds here. And as you get high enough up to see its base, you see the void between you and it. You approach a cliff's edge, beyond which is 100 feet of naked, open sky, before the ground resumes in front of the tower, floating, intimidating, just off the coast.
Absolutely astonishing. It's difficult to rectify what I had in my mind with what I'm seeing here. It is more intimidating and beautiful than I could have imagined.
It's so isolated. So much history. Just here, in the middle of the sky.
In the stories, this is where the heroes fight a dragon at the gates of the castle. Steel yourselves. Our dragon's name is Doris.
I'm gonna get close to the edge and just look over because I just keep thinking about leap of faith, and I'm looking for anything unusual or I don't know, her tangled corpse far below.
Yeah. So riding Einon's success in following her tracks. Yeah, Kade, I think you get close to the edge, and as you do, the footing is a little uncertain. Some rock and dirt kind of crumbles beneath your feet and slides away. And I think you notice that there is just a little patch where it seems like that happened recently, where a chunk of the earth did fall away. And you can see just the still moist dirt and rock revealed by it. And looking down and over, looking beneath the tower, it's like a mile down to the ground below. You can see that there is some land mass underneath the tower. It kind of looks like maybe it lifted out of the ground and brought a little bit of the earth underneath with it, like it's sitting on something. There is room to stand in front of the doors, for example, but that doesn't extend very far down. And you can see just faintly what looks like a shimmer of ether that seems to extend all the way from the ground below and up into the tower itself. Picture kind of like a grav lift in Halo or something. There's just some sort of energy beam that seems to link the tower to the ground far, far, far below.
Does it look like if you were to jump from here, even though it would be a very, very long fall, you could intercept that line?
100%.
Oh my God.
What?
She did it. Leap of faith.
Well, what do you mean? Do you see her?
No, but I'll point out this beam of ether. You can barely see it, but I think she jumped off and got into that, and it maybe took her in, or she used it to power herself to rise up. I don't know, but she jumped, and I point to the spot where there's other earth missing. I think she jumped into that beam.
Sevna steps forward to look over the edge at what you're talking about. And again, she shakes her head. She says, impossible.
Why?
Well, for one, my God, look at how tiny it is. What are the odds? But two, it would tear you apart. That is, from what I can tell, pure uncut ether flowing directly from the surface to the tower. Just, if you plunged your hand into it, I think you'd come back without a hand. It would shred you. She couldn't survive something like that.
Unless maybe she already knows the thing that I tried to show you, that it's something to give yourself up to, not something to control.
But if she's on this power tear and trying to interfere with your goals, then it would prohibit her, would it not?
I don't know. It's not entirely cut and dry.
That's a fair point. What the will of a force like this might intend can shift. Just as a river can bring nutrients and life, it can also drown.
And maybe some of the restraint that we deal with comes from any sort of conflict within us when we're using ether. If she doesn't have any of that left, she's 100% dedicated to a single goal in mind, maybe there's nothing to fight against the power.
This has brought up an entirely different question, I think, for the two of you, as I look at Kade and Maxine. If we're going to fix the core that's inside that castle, do we need to bring it down to the bloody ground? How does it work? Is this beam of energy what is flowing into what you would fix, and is the attachment to the core there? How the fuck does any of this work?
Oh, Einon, that's a question for after we deal with the person trying to kill us.
Oh, yes, fair.
There's a lot more investigating that we're going to have to do to figure out what any of this is.
Well, no matter what, we're a fair bit closer to our goal. She had quite a head start on us. Is this a moment where you could do your thing, see if you can feel if she's close?
I can definitely attempt it. It's just if something goes wrong, or I gesture at the beam of ether, there's enough interference, it might tip her off that we're here. But if we think it's worth it, then absolutely.
I kind of turn away from the edge. Roland, how much of the plague did you see?
That's hard to quantify. Enough. Why do you ask?
I don't know. I just got this weird thought of if the ether has a will and it comes from the other world, does the plague? Because you all thought, or at least we all thought it rode the magic. Like, what if that's what's talking to her? What if that's the thing that's giving her aid? I don't know. I was just, all of a sudden I thought, oh God, what if more than just one thing has a want, a will, a force behind it?
For the first time, you see a flash of fear on Roland the Black's face. I've never considered the plague as something that itself lived like ether does, nor have I felt its effects in any way since crossing over. But maybe it is insidious. Maybe it is smart and hides itself.
If that could even remotely be true, we gotta find her and fast, because maybe that's what her plan is to let it in.
Oh, gosh, if that's true. Oh, we have to go. We have to go now. I look at Armless. Okay, let's get it set up. Let's get over there.
Yeah, okay. What do you want me to do?
Take me across first. I'll check the corners, make sure that there's nothing imminently in front of that door, and I'll start rigging up some of my strongest rope in preparation for Smee.
Okay. Yeah, he flies up a little bit so that he can grasp you in his talons and lifts your feet off the ground. Ready?
Let's do it.
And he flies you out over the gap.
Gimbal, I didn't say to stop playing the fucking flute.
Do you want us to get eaten by redcaps?
Oh, man.
Just the horde of them in the distance, just watching.
I'm imagining if we scored this one like we did Tides, that I'd have to go in and have flute music and just occasionally stop it so that there was a moment for you to do that and it just start again. Yeah, he flies you out over the gap, and you know there's not any question that Armless can make this flight. Like, I don't think you have any reason to believe that he's going to drop you or he's going to fall or anything, but it is still a real butt clincher, immediately having a mile of open air beneath you. But he gets you across that 100 feet and lets you touch down on quote-unquote solid ground on the other side. There is just a little bit of land before the gigantic doors themselves. It seems like there was, once upon a time, a bridge here that has long since been destroyed, and the land that the bridge connected to has largely been destroyed, as if just like the edges of the bounds around the fortress have been eaten away at and crumbled. So there's not much here, but there's enough room for you to stand. There's enough room for multiple of you to stand, but narrowly.
Yeah, as he sets me down, I turn to wave across the gap, giving just a solid nod, like, kind of a stoic, like, it was a quick trip. It's an easy ride, everyone. It's fine. And then as I turn around to look for a place to tie the rope, I'm just like, ooh, I'm on a floating island. Like, I'm just so happy.
The description of that flight makes me think of the time that I went ziplining, and it was just like, it was like 11 different lines, and like the first 9 were just, over the forest floor, da-da-da. And then the 10th one, it's that. And then all of a sudden you go through a clearing, and it was a gorge. There was just instant drop away for like half a mile. And it was like,
Cool.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Have you seen that
terrifying.
video where there's a sloth on the zip line?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
So Einon starts setting up the low end of the zipline.
Yes.
Okay. Who is setting it up at the high point on the other side?
I suppose I am.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to set it up. I think this is another one of those like little coincidence things. Smee has those handles on his back. Don't know why. And then I was like, well, I'm going to set the ropes up so they loop through that at least. In case he loses his grip on the rope with his, his very functional hands.
Yeah. His pikes. He just spears through the rope and it severs. Einon, you don't have crafts, do you?
I do not.
Okay. Then, Kade, why don't you make us a crafts roll burglary in this case?
Oh, okay.
You're still interacting with, I would consider a zipline a mechanism.
Yeah, fair. Is it ether powered?
Is it specifically ether powered things for your stunt?
No, but I thought all mechanisms were ether powered.
Well, that's true. Yeah. All right. You want to talk me out of burglary?
I don't. But it feels like it should be crafts because there isn't. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, well, let's do a mundane crafts then. Overcome with crafts, trying to beat it's a simple mechanism though.
Yeah.
I think you're trying to beat Let's call it a 3 because
Okay.
it's got to support SME weight.
Yeah. 5.
Okay, you're good. And what is the rest of the progression across this? Is Armalus carrying anybody else, or is everybody else taking the zip line? Is there a particular order?
I think both, just to get it done as quick as possible.
Okay.
Someone goes on the zip line, Armless carries someone over.
Okay. Any particular order? Do we care? Or is it just get everybody across?
I think getting Sevna across first, just in case. Imagine we got over there, she cut the line.
Maybe Roland last in case there happens to be some weird ambush still on this side.
Okay. So everybody makes their way across, 2 by 2, one in the powerful grip of Armalus and one in the powerful grip of the thrill of a zipline.
I'll go second to last, and I turn to Roland, and I say, okay, if you see anything strange, just yell the code word across the gap.
What is the code word?
Ads.
Walked me right into that one. So, we find all of you, I was going to say safely. Safely might not be a fair word to use, on the tower side of the gap.
Find us alive on the tower side.
Yes, alive and currently sure-footed on the other side. Smee takes the zip line across last, and he's like, excited as he goes, but you are able to unclip him over there. It is cramped. There's not like a ton of room to maneuver, but nobody is in danger of just falling over the edge by getting bumped in the shoulder or anything. But before you stands the fortress. Again, enormous, in remarkably good condition. The architecture clearly rings of Clockwinder architecture. You know, it reminds you of the tower and the Dawn Palace itself. The one at the Freehold, like, it's got that air to it. But yeah, these gigantic metallic doors are gleaming in front of you. They are like, the doors themselves are stories tall. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to try the door, see if it's something that can even be moved by normal means.
Yeah, I think as you like reach for the door, you are able to get a hand on the big fucking door handle. It's just like one huge vertical bar that leads top to bottom. And you can feel that it's locked. I think you get the impression very quickly, though, that it doesn't feel like a mechanical lock. It feels like kind of a ward of sorts. Like there are ether protections on the doors on the fortress that are barring entry.
Can I tell if these are kind of inherent to the building or if this feels fresh? Like, did Doris put this up?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that feels like a lore roll to me more than an investigate. So why don't you overcome with lore, trying to beat a 3.
5.
You reach out and touch the ether locks, and you can feel that they are old. This is not fresh magic or new magic. This seems like something that's probably been around as long as the tower has, nearly. It doesn't feel like it was recently activated or deactivated either. It doesn't feel like it was broken down and replaced when she made her way in. It feels like this has just been here for a hell of a time.
There are wards on this door, but they're not for us exclusively. Doris or Yvain or whatever her name is, she didn't do this, but she also didn't deactivate it. I'm not sure how she got past this.
Well, if she went up through that tube of ether underneath and got in that way, then she likely never even touched this door.
All right, well, let's see if we can turn them off. Teamwork, make the dream work.
Yeah, I think that there are going to be 2 facets to this, a lore component and a burglary component. So let's do 2 overcomes. Who wants to take the burglary?
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And who wants to take the lore?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Oh, okay.
What's Sevna's lore?
She just pushes me backwards off the...
Oh, God.
I don't need you anymore.
I got this.
Sevna has a +4.
Okay. Do I get a +1 from her as well?
Sure. She's not going to otherwise occupy a role in the challenge, so I think she could help you with your part of it. So yeah, why don't you give me an overcome with lore, trying to beat a 6. And Kade, I think you were trying to do the same with burglary.
Okay.
I do not have a burglary to give you.
That's okay.
Does anybody else?
No.
I don't think so.
I mean, I do have lore, though, and I've had to deal with magical stuff, even if I'm not magical.
I mean, I'll take that, but it just doesn't help Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, nobody else here has burglary.
That's fair.
9.
8.
Okay.
Nice.
Right?
So, Maxine, you actually succeed with the style.
Oh.
You get a boost. But you are both successful. So, I imagine there is some, putting your heads together, consulting with the rest of the members of your group who are, pointing things out. Armalus is, flying up and, informing on what the situation, what the mechanics look like higher up on the doors. And, Kade, you are working the physicality of the doors while Maxine is manipulating the ether running in between. And eventually, you feel a mechanical shift. You hear this kind of reverberating thunk run up and down the doors. And at the same time, you kind of feel the thread of ether snap. And all at once, everything you're looking at changes. The doors look weathered and rusted. The stone doesn't look polished. It doesn't shine anymore. It looks ancient and crumbling. The entire condition of the fortress looks like dog shit. You see that the moment that lock fell, the moment that ward fell, so too did the glamour over the Forgotten Fortress, revealing its true state of disrepair.
Whoa.
I just had a thought. It may be nothing, but 70, you said going into that stream of ether would tear you apart. And we know this hasn't been deactivated. What if that's the leap of faith? Is she gave herself up to that pure ether to be, I don't know, disassembled? Reformed into something else? Something that would give her the ability to kill us? I mean, it's just a hypothesis, but I think we should add the thought that maybe what we find in here isn't what we expect.
Oh, they're like she offered up herself in that mass and it was turned into something else.
Maybe.
Okay.
Unless that portal of ether is a straight tube up, I don't think her corporeal form would make it inside.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a straight tube up just because someone said the Halo Latin grav lift to me, and that's all I can think now. No, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. That's even worse. Okay, well, shall we?
Every moment we wait is a moment that she has the drop on us.
I agree. Einon, lead the way.
I'll head in.
All right, Einon, once again, you place your hand upon the giant door handle, and this time it swings open. There is a heavy, echoing creak as the door swings inward, and the light from behind you spills into the chamber beyond. You can see that you are looking into an enormous great hall of sorts, a gigantic foyer for this fortress. The stonework inside is elegant and detailed. There are sort of Gothic arches overhead meeting in the center of this room, pillars along the sides. Rotting, moth-eaten carpets run the length of the room away from you. And all around are bones, skeletons, bodies, signs of battle, armaments. All of it looks supremely aged.
Before I move too deeply inside, do I notice anything amiss? Anything or anyone hiding, a shadow in the wrong place?
Why don't you overcome with notice, trying to beat a 5?
Ooh, okay. I'm at a 3, but I am an experienced hunter.
Okay. Spend a point. That'll get you to the tie.
That's about as good as I can do.
Anybody else feel like they can invoke anything on Einon's behalf to bump him up to a success?
I've got that boost from kind of tapping into the magic of this place to try and get through the wards.
Well, I mean, we did have this shining illusion, this, bright example of what was. Could I invoke that boost to kind of show the stark contrast of what's real and the things that are standing out in juxtaposition to that?
Sure. What do you want to call it? An eye for the details?
Yeah, that's almost exactly what I was thinking, is just that detail-oriented, this is what's real.
Okay. Yeah, that'll bump you up to the success. So you do a quick appraisal of the Great Hall here. And there are clearly lots of shadows. lots of nooks and crannies and hidey holes, but you don't see anybody peeking out at you from them, other than the numerous corpses lying around in here. It doesn't seem like there's a figure within this room. Nobody's hiding out from you. I think you do, though, get a sensation. And I think it would be clear to any of you that pass through these doors, you can just feel the ether in this whole place. You know, like it is in the bones of this fortress. This whole place is like stitched together by, filled with ether. And Einon, for you who isn't practiced in it but is familiar with it, I think you just get like a vibe that it feels tainted. And I think despite your certainty that there's no one in this room observing you, waiting to spring a trap, you feel like you're being watched.
I step back out with the door still open, climb onto the zip line. I step back out, kind of keeping the door propped. Well, it's just as bad as you might expect. A lot of the remains of battle, skeletons. No one is in there imminently, but every brick of the place is tainted with ether. And I don't mean filled with ether, I mean tainted by it. There's something wrong about it. And most certainly, whether it's this idea of the ether itself having a will and watching us, the plague doing so, or fucking Yvain herself, something's on to us.
Should I try now to see if I can pinpoint where she is?
Yeah, I mean, if whatever's here is already aware of us, seems only fair.
Okay. I will take off my gloves and place my palms on the ground and channel some ether, see if I can't figure this out.
All right. Why don't you create an advantage with lore, trying to beat a 5?
7.
So you feel that spread from you again, that sort of searching wash, those pings of ether looking for something to feed back to you about. I think I'm going to give you a couple of things, a couple of aspects, because some of them are like, they're not hidden per se. One of the aspects of this place is ancient tesseract of ether. It is just all throughout in every dimension. Another one I think you get for free is mesmerizing architecture, but that's just, visually. It's very interesting and complex.
Oh, I figured it was the glamour. It's like mesmerizing.
Maybe that is what that's supposed to mean. Well, it could go either way. It's up to you to justify when you try to use it for something.
I love that.
But as you are trying to search for Yvain, I think you feel like her signature here, but you don't find her entity here, for lack of a better description. It's like there are shards of her throughout, like fine particulate of Yvain throughout this place, but no singular form. And I think the aspect that is revealed in that regard is haunting presence. And because you succeeded, you get 1 free invoke on it, if you can figure out how to use it.
Bad news, guys.
Bad nougat.
Bad nougat.
Throw the candy bars out. Sorry.
Jumped on that so fast.
Fuck.
It has been almost 8 years now we've been doing this. And I still feel like the moments that make me the proudest are when a joke is made and one of you comments about how quick it came.
Well, either redcaps are here too and they left pieces of her all over, or the theory of her not being corporeal anymore is more on the nose than we'd hoped.
Why? Where do you sense her?
I don't. That's the problem. I couldn't tell you where exactly she is here, but parts of her are here. And I don't think it's in the same way that parts of Vaughn were left.
Could that be what I was sensing? This sort of ill feeling that was soaking into the place? You wanted me to say taint again, didn't you, Jacob?
I thought you were going to say haunting presence.
That's what I got. This haunting presence.
Stare at the camera. I think so. She's here, but in a completely different capacity, and that's why the ether isn't the way that it should feel.
Well, all right. Gimbal, I suppose you can stop playing. Just blew in the
God.
face.
Oh man, that's been one fucking long breath.
Just one continuous note.
That's the song. Breaks all the rules of music.
Gimbal, start playing. To call red cap music that's disingenuous.
You both hit it. I don't know what. Something about that pitch made one of my eyes twitch. You both hit it exactly.
I sneezed the other day, so violently, and I was just like, "Ow!" And Jake was like, "I'm sorry. Could you try doing that as a different pitch?" I was like, "No."
It was like a knife to my eardrum. It just punched directly through.
Well, he's always getting after me for not sneezing
Yes.
outwardly
Yeah.
because he's scared I'm gonna have an aneurysm or something.
It looks like you're gonna. I'm so happy that you have been letting your sneezes out.
I'm not, but that's the thing. I can't control when it does or doesn't happen, and sometimes it just is. Sometimes it just lets itself out. But I don't have any control over what sounds happen.
Yeah, I know it was a tall order, but I felt I had to place it.
He was just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that that's painful and that you're sneezing a lot and hurts your baby."
But it hurts this
But
baby
it
too.
But it hurts this baby more. So could you not?
Whenever you sneeze, I expect you to look up from it, and it's the episode of The Simpsons where they're stealing the grease and the vacuum gets stuck on Homer's eye, and he pulls off. He's like, "Do I look okay?" And it's just a big bulbous eye filled with blood.
And he's just like, what?
Yeah, whenever she sneezes and holds it in, I feel like it's like the beginning of Mission Impossible 3 or whatever when Philip Seymour Hoffman detonates the bomb in the lady's head and just the one eye's rolled back. That's what I'm always afraid is about to happen.
Yep.
She's just going to be like, "Help," and then just flatline. Spoilers for Mission Impossible 3 or 4. I don't remember which one it is.
Spoilers. Philip Seymour Hoffman's the bad guy.
Spoilers, Philip Seymour Hoffman fucking rules. You should watch it.
So there's a ghost here.
Yeah.
Is,
Yeah.
That was all in character.
Yeah. Okay, well, if we don't know where she is, let's at least try to find the movement core, I guess.
Yeah, she's one step ahead of us, and I don't unfortunately think there's any way for us to figure out where that step is. So we'll just have to be ready to react.
When you say pieces of her everywhere, you mean like fine, like chunks? Like, are we breathing her in like a mold?
yes, is this granulated, Yvain?
Is this coarse ground or fine?
I don't know. It's more like fragments, a signature.
Like in a fourth dimensional sense, Sevna says.
Yeah, theoretically.
You know, like a tesseract.
Yeah, I was
Like
just
the
about to say,
aspect of
like the ancient tesseract of ether.
I see. Yes, of course.
She's looking at the character sheet. She's looking at the book. Like a tesseract. I see.
I'm so glad you're on our side now.
How many steps ahead did you say Yvain was now? She looks at her own character sheet that has an aspect that's 3 steps ahead. Sort of rude
like
for her to be
4 steps ahead.
sort of rude for her to be kind of chomping my flave there. But,
But at least I should always be ahead of her a bit.
at least by 1. I just need to keep 1.
Yeah, so start trying to navigate this place and see if we can find the ether core.
Okay. You all head inside and start making your way deeper into the fortress across the Great Hall. There is a degree of illumination in here that I think is initially unclear what its source is. It is sort of a greenish light that's just filling this room kind of dimly. But as you progress, you see that it seems to be getting a little bit brighter. It seems like you are getting closer to the source. And far across this chamber, deep into the Great Hall, you see a structure on the ground in the middle of the room. It is a 5-foot diameter stone circle that juts up out of the ground about 4 feet. And the light seems like it is spilling out from within that circle.
But it's stone?
It's a ring, stone ring.
Ah, I was thinking sphere. Got my shapes mixed up.
And I said circle, so that also wasn't quite accurate. Like a stone ring that the light is coming out from within. And the closer you get, you start to see that there is a substance inside. It almost looks like this is a well of sorts. And inside is what appears to be ether. But it is in an unfamiliar state. It is kind of like when you were extracting it directly from the cores and like putting it in a vial, or is it like a plasmid?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but it is like kind of churning in there like water would, but there's a little bit of mist coming off of it like a gas.
Okay, so the circle is horizontal.
Yeah.
Like a well. I was thinking like the like stone rings in Tears of the Kingdom.
No, it's not like a Stargate or anything.
This is definitely not distilled. I'm not sure exactly what the term is. It's not the ether that vents off the movement cores. It seems like this is what's pulled out of the planet.
Yeah, I think as you are looking at it, from your estimations from a distance, this about matches the dimensions of the channel of ether leading from the surface up to here. It seems like this is kind of where it pools and the point from which it seems to spill and fill this place.
All right, so if there was a movement core here that is now completely offline, and this fortress had been up this high, is the core supposed to be right here where this sort of well ends and it's just entirely gone? Or is it somewhere deeper within, or does it work an entirely different way? Like, how else would it connect to the world and the ether and, well, work at all?
I want to take a step back and look at the room. Does it seem like what Kate is thinking is, instead of there being a core here, is the building a core?
Why don't you overcome with investigate, trying to beat a 3?
Okay. I'm at a 2, but baby, I'm the mechanist.
Yeah. Spend your point. That'll get you to a success. So I think you look around and the patterns don't jump out at you. You know what the guts of a movement core look like, even when they have varied. And although the architecture in this place is interesting and kind of unique and fine, it doesn't align with what you'd expect the inside of a movement core to look like. I think in addition to that, you can see just written on the face of this place that this was of clockwinder construction, and you know the cores predate them. So more likely is that it is somehow somewhere else in this structure.
Okay.
Does it look like if it's here, it would be somewhere else? Or does it look like it must be somewhere else, but it maybe originally used to be here? Are there any indications that there were components here?
Oh, yeah. I guess I'm sort of giving that away a little bit. But yeah, let's expand upon that. Like your investigate was more whether this whole thing is a core, but let's add on what Einon was pitching. It doesn't seem like this was the spot for the core at any point. I think that Kade, this rings as sort of a new tech to you. It's kind of an odd variation. It's like wireless. Like this is like a conduit to the surface that seems to be pulling ether from the planet and filling the structure. So it seems like it's doing the same thing with the core wherever it is, that there is this kind of Bluetooth passage of ether from spot to spot here.
So like it's drawing up ether and filling this place with it so that the core can still access it wherever else it is?
Seems like it.
Neat.
Well, it's not here, obviously, but it is in here somewhere.
Well, it's a good thing it's not missing as far as we know.
Yeah.
It's still, however, completely offline, so I'm still pretty apprehensive to find out what that even means.
Okay, so knowing that this is a pool of ether being pulled up from the earth, you know, it's infusing the building, it's infusing the ether core theoretically, or could wherever it's at. But the ether here feels weird. It feels wrong. I've extracted some ether from the core before. I've channeled some ether. We've channeled ether through the ice to, power things. Does the ether in the pool seem off? Like what it's pulling up from the earth? Or does it seem like something about the building is putting it off?
Great question. I don't think I need you to make another roll for that. What's in the pool seems fine. I think if anything, imagine like you dropped a clump of dirt in a bowl of water, and then you grabbed a sifter to pull it out, and you got like 99% of it, but there's still just like a little bit of particulate, like obviously something passed through it.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit of that in there. Like it seems like there's maybe a bit of residual something wrong, but what's being pulled up from below is not itself fucked up.
Okay. Whatever's messing with the ether in here, it isn't in the well, or if it is, it's very little. Like what's being drawn up from the earth is clean.
Well, look around. This place is littered with the bodies of the people that were, well, our people at their worst. This place, the vibe here, it's almost the opposite of what we found out in the frozen wastes. This place is a testament to battle and hate. I don't know if that alone has changed what the ether is doing here, or if Yvain's arrival has done it swiftly, or even added to it, but wherever we're going to go in here, we need to keep our eyes out. We've seen wraiths for much, much less than what this place has endured.
It's hubris. All of it. What they did, what Doris is doing, just pride and arrogance and unyielding desire to just achieve whatever they want. That's overwhelming in itself, but I am glad to hear that she didn't really poison the well, so to speak.
Can I spend my last fate point to open up to the ether and see if it knows where we should go?
Yeah, I think that as you start to like close your eyes and like position yourself in like a relaxed and open stance, like right as you start to move, Roland reaches out and he puts a hand on your shoulder to halt you. And you see him reach up and he pulls his hood back to expose one of his ears and kind of tilts it like he's listening for something. And then somewhere in the distance from within the fortress, you can all hear it. You hear someone humming, a woman's voice getting closer. And I think that is where we'll leave it off.
Oh,
Oh no!
you all hear it. The flutes.
Oh, God.
The flutes, they are coming.
Gimbal, put it away.
Giving me fucking mixed signals, bud. Do you want it? Do you
Gimbal,
want me to play it or not?
Gimbal, start playing! Distract her!
Gimbal, quick, battle music. Do, 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 do. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of The Crit Show. If you're interested in more information about Clockwinders or Fate, please check out the episode description for links. You can also check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thecritshow.
Patreon.
I don't know why.
Patreon!
And that's the official Patreon jingle that we are obligated to put into any episode where we mention the name of their site.
Yeah.
And you can find just quality audio like that and so much more at patreon.com/thecritshow. You can also get your name read at the end of an episode, just like Ben B. and Mike Thomas. Thanks to both of you, and thanks once again to everyone listening. Tune in next time to learn the source of the mysterious sound within the fortress and the fate of our heroes. Everybody say bye.
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 The Crit Show is a Critshow Studios production, edited and produced by Brandon Wentz, with music by Jake Purley. You can find more information about us at thecritshowpodcast.com. To keep up to date with upcoming live shows, contests, and other special events, follow us at The Crit Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For even more weekly content, join us at patreon.com/thecritshow.